Welcome to the Hustle Wing podcast. Today we are joined by Kenny. He's going to pitch us his idea today and we're going to chat and get to know him a little bit more. So thank you so much for your time, Kenny. Thank you for joining us. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. How are you, Izzy?
I'm powering through. Thank you for asking. So tell me, what is your idea?
So the idea that I have is basically a large language model that can attend meetings on your behalf
Okay.
and summarize meeting notes as well as action items. So it would transcribe the entire meeting. It would summarize them, um, and then it would assign action items. It could even go a step further in if you give it all the right permissions and on your laptop and things like that, based on the action items, to draft emails, draft Excel spreadsheets, draft PowerPoints based on what was talked about in the meeting and what the action items are. I think a key point to this is a few things. One, the language model would be trained specific to whatever industry or whatever line of work that you like, whatever the context is of the meeting and the people that were talking in that meeting.
Mm-hmm.
I think the other thing is
Mm-hmm.
it's got to be easy to use, right? I know there's technically ways to do this today, and I've been working on getting that to
Mm-hmm.
work. But I think it requires a lot of, if you wanted to automate it, it requires a lot of API integration and technical integration back and forth between language models and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
I think it should be as easy as somebody that's non-technical just going to a website, and maybe they don't actually invite the model to the meeting, but just go to a website and at the start of the meeting hit start, and then at the end hit done, and it'll automatically do all of these things. So somebody non-technical, very easy to use. And then, an additional feature on this would be something like you take the full transcript once once all of the meeting notes are summarized and like that, things like that. You take the full transcript and you feed it into a chatbot. Um, and so then the
Mm-hmm.
chatbot ends up being like your friend that went to the meeting that you could basically ask it, hey, how did the meeting go? Why didn't Bob and Joe like this idea, or how did they bite on the proposal, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
The sort of thing that people in the business world do today. They would ask somebody because they couldn't attend the meeting. They would ask those types of questions. You can now ask the chatbot.
Okay. Okay, cool. I love the idea. I'm a little bit confused though. Does that mean I wouldn't have to attend the meeting? The bot would attend it for me, or would we attend together and then, it just comes up with the summary afterwards, just in case like I've forgotten something or I didn't take notes.
Yeah, I think that you could actually do both. So if you're in the meeting, you can hit record,
Okay.
and summarize the meeting notes for you on your behalf, send out
Uh huh.
create action items and send them out on your behalf. The person that hit record then will be like the system will train the chatbot, and somebody that didn't attend the meeting could then ask the chatbot those questions.
I see. I see. Okay. Okay. I can.
I
I
guess
can
too,
see
you
where
see,
this is going. Okay, cool. I mean, I understand the need for it. There's definitely a lot of unnecessary meetings that take a lot of time. And I I find the agenda part and the summary part so draining. So, I love it. I'm just being a little bit naughty thinking about other things. Because now I wouldn't have to attend meetings. That would be amazing. Okay, so tell me, how did you come up with it? Were you bored of attending meetings?
oh, yeah, I mean that was part of it. I think the I think the main so I was a management consultant for more than 20 years. I worked mainly
Okay.
on data strategies for clients, and that required a lot of meetings with clients to understand pain points,
Yeah.
and then to take all that, summarize them, formulate a strategy out of it. Um,
Yeah.
and now I work in sales where a lot of that stuff applies as well. It's just meeting with clients, understanding what their issues are, and figuring out how to address them. And um, I think that doesn't just apply to, the people in the fields that I just talked about. I think it applies to anybody in the business world. They just attend a lot of meetings, and it just be a nice, easy way to summarize
Yeah.
and then send out the summary just to make sure everybody that attended the meeting took the same thing out of it, and everyone's on the same
Yeah.
page.
Yeah. I also love the feature that you mentioned where it can sort of give you pointers on the meeting. So you can be like, did I say this wrong? Is there a more precise way for me to put this? Or was the reaction, okay? Was my pitch okay? Like that's also a part that I feel like would really help a lot of people because sometimes, meetings drag on for no reason and you could, be more concise and things like that.
Right. Yeah. There's a lot that there's a lot of different branches that I think this could take. That's one of them as well.
Yeah.
And even like from a sales perspective, getting automatic feedback um, on the sales cycle, and as opposed to having your boss or having a human being attend the call and giving you feedback. This is like real time
Mm.
feedback from automatically.
Yeah. Awesome, awesome. So then what's your long-term vision for the idea? What's your end goal?
I think so. I mean, that's a good question because what I just described is technically possible today.
Okay.
I haven't seen it anywhere, but it's technically
Yeah.
possible today. So what's to stop somebody from doing it?
Yeah.
Um, I think that long term, what one could eventually do is add on to it. So I told you my background was um, in consulting, and
Consulting. Yeah.
it required a lot of meetings and getting input from the client. And so what I just described is the first part of that, which is collecting the input and summarizing it, and playing it back to whoever was in the meeting. I
Yeah.
think a next step long term could be something like taking that information, and then using that to actually formulate the strategy for the client. So a lot of the consulting that people do today could be automated even more. Um,
Yeah.
if you trained the model on some corpus of uh, recommendations and information about what to do about problems X, Y, and Z,
Yeah.
you can see how if you have the inputs of what the pain points X, Y, and Z could be, the model would be able to tell you what the formula, what your strategy should be, or at least recommend one.
Yeah, definitely. I think you're right about the different branches that you can, branch into because it could also be used as a management tool, couldn't it? You could always send through
Yes.
reports to your manager and they could make notes that like your next pitch, do it this way, or, with this client, you got to handle it this way or whatever, or how you want your company brand to sound, like the kinds of words you want to use or points you want to make in meetings. So it really is like the possibilities are truly endless.
Yeah, for sure.
Cool. Cool. So, what are some of the challenges that you're facing? I know it is still in ideation stage. Have you sort of thought about what potential problems you would face?
I think that, I mean, the main challenge right now is like if the goal is to make it as easy to use as possible,
Mm,
as easy as clicking a button. Um,
hmm.
the main challenge for me has been the technical integration of everything.
Yeah.
Um, you know, it starts with taking a language model and then training it to understand context of when people talk in that industry, what they actually mean.
Yeah.
Um, taking the audio and then transcribing it. That's one
Hmm.
one model will do that. Another model will take that and then summarize it. Another model to do something else. And so it's just
Yeah.
pulling all of these together has been, I think, the biggest hurdle.
Okay. And would you be looking to, start with a specific industry first, or are you trying to, launch it and see who bites?
I think for now, there's no specific industry because for now it would just be. I think to me, like an MVP would be just to be able to summarize meeting notes and action
Okay.
items, and
Yeah.
then proactively draft
Growth.
what the like act on those action items.
Yeah.
So that doesn't, I think, necessarily require a specific industry. That's just anybody that
Yeah.
attends meetings. But
Yeah.
just that's, I think, to me, like the MVP.
Okay. Okay. Awesome. Awesome. So yeah, I think the last question I need to ask then is, would you be open to, networking within the community? If maybe, so you said you'd be struggling with the technical side with software engineers, UIX designers and, developers. Would you be open to hearing from people like that who would be willing to work on this project with you?
Absolutely. Yeah. Especially the UX part of it, because like I said, I think, um, my, I think it's probably one of the most important things on this is it's got to be user friendly and easy to use.
Yeah. Yeah. And you mentioned that you wanted it to be like a site, not an app or anything like that.
Um, I, I mean, I think it could be both. It could be
Okay.
either. I mean, a site or an app.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Well, I'm glad that you're open to sort of, exploring and definitely seeing where it goes. It seems like you're kind of, open to having a chat with people and seeing like what they have to, what points they would have for you, which is always the best way to go. So yeah, so I think I get the concept and I love where it's going, and I'm excited to see which direction you take it because, like we said, there's so many branches for you to go. It would be interesting to see how it evolves.
Great. Thank you, Izzy.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for your time, Kenny. It was amazing chatting to you. And yeah, I guess we'll connect again soon.
Thanks.